Hello dear students, my name is Kaxarova Madina Baxodirovna and I am from Department of Translations from Bukhara State University. And today's lesson's topic is review lesson. And we have the plan of the tasks for independent hours. We will review all of these in order to get prepared you for the next lesson. So our topic will cover time and tense, sentences, formal and informal words, synonyms, homonyms, other works of forms, modal verbs and expressions, and synonyms and homonyms again. Next. So here, as we see, we have three main parts of the English tenses: present, past, and future, and they divide into subgroups of tenses like present simple, present continuous, present perfect, present perfect continuous, or past simple, past continuous, past perfect, and past perfect continuous, or future simple, future continuous, future perfect, and future perfect continuous. Each has its own auxiliary word, which composes the sentences and helps us to deliver the meaning of the sense of the tense. For example, present simple has uses does and do auxiliary verb, and it uses the first form of the verb and adds s and es at the end of the verbs. And present continuous has am is are to be and verb ing form, the verb force form, and each has its own adverbials, and we will see the times of the frequencies and adverbs at the end of these slides. Let's see, the next one is present perfect. So has and have, we will use the auxiliaries and we will use the verbs of the third form. Next one is present perfect continuous, and we will use has been. We will add the auxiliary been here, and we use verbs first form, verb ing form. Let's see, for example, the examples. He goes to school every day. Yeah, it's a present simple because goes uses the first verb type and is stating s and es flexion. He is playing football now. Is here is auxiliary verb, and playing is a verb form. Let's see the sentence. I have never traveled by plane. It's using have and ed form. Traveled. The verb traveled is a third verb, and she has been cooking for 2 hours. It's a present perfect continuous tense, and it's using the verb has been auxiliary, and it's using verb form like verb ing form cooking. For the past times, we use for past simple, we use did and didn't auxiliaries. For interrogative questions to compose them, we use did, and for negative sentences, we use didn't. The verb to in the past simple, like she finished her book last week. Finish it here as a past simple form, as we see. Next one is, let's see, he was cleaning his room when the telephone rang. So was cleaning here is forming past continuous tense. Like this, we'll form all of the sentences in these English lessons. Let's see the sentence, he will help me tomorrow. Here, will is auxiliary verb and help is the main verb. Auxiliary verbs usually help us to form the sentences. They have grammatical meaning. They can be changed in order to mean the another tenses. We can use another auxiliary verbs, but the main verbs, they give us the main sense of the sentences. In the next slide here, we can see one by one all of the tenses. For example, present simple, we use some of the time and verbs in the present simple. For example, usually, often, sometimes, seldom, always, rarely, and never. All of these kind of adverbs and verbs of the present simple, they help us to understand what is concurrently happens, or what is happened in the, or let's say as a habitual action, or what is used as an repetition in the repetition, or in a common daily life. So all of these verbs we can use in a present simple. In the present continuous, to talk about actions in the present that are still going or happening now. For example, we have keywords at the moment, the nowadays, these days, always, and so on. So according to these signal words, or we can say frequency of adverbs, we can clarify which present simple or which tense and time the sentence has. Next, in the next sentence, here you can see in the next one, present perfect simple. We use that tense to talk about happenings in the past that explain or affect the present. For example, the action is in the past, but the consequences are at the present. For example, I have been in London. In this sentence, I want to say that I have been in London in the past. For example, 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah. But the actions consequence in the now. For example, I have been in London. I have seen it. I know about it. I want to say that I have traveled in it, and so on. The keywords are recently, later, before, since, just, already, yet, ever, never, how long. I will send you these PPTs, and after the lesson or after the video lesson, you can all look through them clearly and closely. In the past simple, we used this tense in order to describe the actions that has been done in the past once or too many times. Like it has keywords yesterday, ago, last week, and month, and so on. Whatever it expresses the past tense. And past continuous, some actions that continue in the past happens in the past, but never ends in the past. We use past continuous. For example, I was cleaning my shoes at 5 o'clock yesterday. Yeah. So we need some exact time here in order to express the tense, and we can use some certain time or action to compare our past continuous verb. For example, 5 o'clock yesterday, still, at the moment, at the time, at this time yesterday, this time last night, and so on. In the past perfect simple, we can use all the actions are happening in the past, even before the past. For example, one action happens first, and then the past simple action happens, and then present simple actions will happen. Let me tell you an illustration. For example, I had eaten this cake in 2002. First, I had eaten the cake, and then 2002 came, but now it's 2022. So the rest, you can see the notion of 3 tenses. In the future simple, we use this tense with predict something. Here we can see expressions of time, past, present, and future after lesson. You can look through them really closely to PPT, like yesterday, today, this week, tomorrow, next week, and so on. We will not stop at these expressions too much. Why? Because as you see, as you read them, so you sense the time yourself, whether you should use them as past, present, or future. So here in our review lesson, let's see, repeat about the sentence types. We divide sentence structure into 4 groups. First, simple sentences, compound sentences, complex sentences, and compound complex sentences. We can call of them composite sentences too. First, in a simple sentence, it has subject and a verb, and it may have object modifiers, second degree words, parts of the speech. It never contains independent clause, like she wrote a book. In a compound sentence, it contains at least 2 independent clauses. These 2 independent clauses can be combined with a comma and coordinating conjunction, or with a semicolon, like she completed her literature review and she created her reference list. In complex sentences, it contains at least 1 independent clause and at least 1 dependent clause. Like, although she completed her literature review, she still needed to work on her message section. Although is linking word here, and if you see these words, it means it's dependent clause, because the fragment at the end, it will not be full in the meaning. If the sentence is not full in the meaning, it's dependent clause. If it's full, and it's independent clause. Okay, let's look through the compound complex sentences. These sentence types can be also combined. A compound complex sentence contains at least 2 independent clauses and at least 1 independent clause. Yeah, as you see, so it's all getting complicated, yeah? One by one, it's getting complicated. Let me see the example for that. She completed her literature review, but she still needs to work on her methods section. Even so, she finished her methods course last semester. Here you see at least 3 sentences. So they was combined with comma lines or conjunctions or linking words. Yeah. So later we'll see what other sentence like punctuations, connecting words, linking words, and so on. So in a speech, we use formal and informal words. We use formal words in the formal situations, formal meetings, writing section of the some exams like IELTS and TOEFL, reports, interviews, and so on. So formal settings can be courts, law situations, or wherever in the governmental positions. When we write the letter, in the letter, we can use expressions like formal and informal words. If we say, "Hi Robert, just wanted to let you know," wow, it's informal. We can change it in a formal situations like, "Dear sir and madam, I'm writing to you inform, yours sincerely, your faithfully," and so on. So we can use abbreviations here like ASAP. English people really like to use abbreviations in their emails. For example, in business emails, ASAP means as soon as possible. TV, television, photo, photograph, and so on. Okay, the verbs informal and formal. How we can change our formal, informal verbs into formal words. Like say sorry, we can use apologize. Go up, increase. Go down, decrease. Set up, establish. Look at, examine. Blow up, explode. Find out, discover. Bring about, cost. Put off, delay. Rack up, accumulate. Make up, fabricate. Stand for, represent. So while I'm reading to you, you can read it after the lesson because you need a perfect pronunciation and not speak in English. If you don't speak in a perfect pronunciation, so when you speak with foreign interlocutors, they do not understand your English, so, and you may have an extra problems with it. Here in this slide, you can see many verbs, just ordinary verbs that are described by pictures. When you go to teach at school, or when you go to have private lessons, we can use all of this kind of visual pictorial visual kind of slides or pictures in order to show the actions. Some people, they just understand and learn by heart better with visual aids, or you can show them. Like if you want to say fly, you can show it like flying. If you want to say laugh, you can show like laughing, yeah? So you can make a gesture, smiling, and so on. It's called TPR, teaching with gestures, so you can use it effectively. Now we see the modal verbs and expressions. What are the modals? Modals are not auxiliaries. Modals are not main verbs. Meanings to the main verbs. Like if we will look one by one to their meaning. Now look at this slide. Degrees of certainty. For example, will have 100% of certainty for happening. May and might and could, they have possibility of happening of actions. If I say I may go to the party, it means that I whether can go or whether will not go. It means 50-50. So in order to make a suggestions, I can use must, have to, ought to, should, and could. Must and have to has 100% degree of happening, and ought to, should, and could have very strong meanings, and sometimes could have a possibility, meaning of the possibility. Whether may happen or whether it may not happen, yeah? In hypothetical situations, we can use would, it's very strong, may, might, and could, it's possible to do. So can and could. Can means here, so you have any opportunity to do something, or you have capability to do something. For example, if I say I write, it means that I always write. It's just common, nothing else. But if I say I can write, it means that I have the capability of writing. I'm a real creative writer, or I have possibility of writing situation. I have a condition to write. So could is a past of this verb. Able to became form is able to with the past of future forms. For example, will be able to or was be able to. Must and should, they always are similar but not the same. Must and should we can use for, let's say, must be used for saying like instead of had better, whether you do something, you should do something, yeah? Whether you do that thing, that action, or you may have problem. So this is should. You are advised to do something. For example, we must fasten our seatbelts. Yeah. In order to understand this, for example, if I will not fasten my seatbelt, I may have some problems when I fly in the flight. Yeah? How awesome! So you should apply for that job. If I say such kind of sentence to my friend, it means that she can apply for that job, but it's her right to apply or not. So I am suggesting the advice. Next one, we saw all these prepositions usage in the last lesson, so I will skip it. You know it. The prepositions of the time and place. We use in and the fixed expressions and the large period of time to say all visitors. On we say with birthdays, with some certain days like weekdays, Monday, Saturday, and at we use with a clock, time to say time, and these fixed expressions. So again, we are reviewing the adjectives and prepositions because we covered the top here. For adjectives and prepositions, you can use any, you cannot use any adjective with any kind of preposition. So in English, it's fixed. Like some certain adjectives come with some certain of prepositions. Like look at this slide: afraid of, eager for, associated with, attracted to, angry about, ashamed of, eligible for, burdened with, accustomed to, anxious about, enthusiastic about. Why I am reading again? Because you need to perfect your pronunciation. If your pronunciation is perfect, you will be understandable and everyone can understand your English and enjoy English. Without the perfect pronunciation, without native or authentic pronunciation, your English is not perfect. So you understood the usage of, the usage of the adjectives and prepositions. There are some synonyms and homonyms like cruel, mean, big if you see, clever and smart. You can use synonyms and homonyms in order to enrich your speech because while you're taking IELTS, you need to boost up your English. You need to exchange your words. You need to verify your synonyms and word bank. Thank you very much for your attention. I will come back with the next lessons and please make up at least one text about yourself. So I will check in the next lesson. Thank you very much for your attention to today's lesson.